I think something the audience and even myself are always curious about is as companies like yours scale super fast, there can be a little bit of regret scaling too fast, right? So as you guys are scaling and so forth, what is something to look out for in a company like Lime or any other large company when moving too fast in revenue, and then you start probably eating into a lot of your profits? How do you kind of manage that process throughout the timeline?
Yeah, I mean, I think for one, it's remaining, humble about where you are at. I think with fast-growing companies, it's easy to be attracting press attention. It may be easy to be attracting financial investment. Maybe easy at the time to be attracting, gobs and gobs of employees applying to for every job that you have listed. But I think it's super, super important to remain humble, knowing that as we found from the pandemic, which we talked about a few minutes ago, anything can happen and you just don't know what's lurking around the corner. And so remaining humble about what the mission is and about where you're at along that journey, I think is incredibly important. I also think remaining, focused on the mission is really important. And, we always had a sustainability mission at the company, but in the very early years, it was really hard to have that come front and center. We were in survival mode, right? We were in competition mode. We were trying to get into markets and win market share. We were developing new products. It was really hard to be doubling down or focused on sustainability. On the flip side, we at a certain point around 2019, 2020, reached a point where sustainability was going to be critical to our success and our growth. I'm really happy to share that in 2023, we grew the business year over year by 32%, but we cut emissions by 16%. So had a 32% growth and a 16% reduction in carbon at the same time as we had that growth. And that's really hard to do, but it is done by running a much stronger business. And so I think what we learned is that we could grow and grow rapidly and remain sort of true to the mission that we had.
What do you see the future of Lime today?
Oh man, I mean, I see us expanding into more geographic territories, new products, doubling down within the markets that we currently serve, and really staying, focused on the core business and providing a service that delights our customers. And when I say customers, I think about two things: one, cities; two, our riders, because we really have to be thinking about both always at the same time.
Andrew, you've obviously scaled multiple businesses. You've been part of this Lime journey for a long time. If I was a young entrepreneur today, wanting to go start something and create a really good product, as Lime is a fantastic product, how would you frame that process out today? Someone just maybe is leaving YC, you're in the Silicon Valley today. And what I would think about Lime is how fantastic the product is, how user friendly, the less friction there is, the easier the product will be used, correct? And if I'm curious today how to go start that, give me some advice for the audience that they can go start that mission today.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's being really clear about the problem that you're trying to solve. That's really important. So in our case, the problem we were trying to solve was that last mile, first mile problem. I think second is, are you sure about the solution, or do you have a sense that the solution is the right fit? And they're better experts than I am to determine a product market fit, but to really know whether or not what you're trying to solve can be solved by the sort of notion, the idea that you're bringing to the table. And then third, I think it's just so critical to build a great team. It's hard to build a good team. It takes really deliberate work. It takes time. It takes effort. But that's absolutely the most important thing. Those are the people that you're going to surround yourself with. Those are the people that are going to be in the tough conversations around the table, solving the challenges, and that you're going to rely on to carry the various spheres of the company that you're developing. And so, it is worth over skewing, over indexing towards ensuring good team leaders. We didn't always get it right. I don't think any company ever does, but spending extra time in that space, I think, is well worth it. So really, it's what problem are you solving? Are you solving it the right way? And are you building the right team for execution?
I mean, that's admirable advice. I think people will take that to the heart, and showing how you guys built Lime obviously is the credibility that you guys can show that the advice given there is something that people can take on for their future endeavors.